that, but in the political sphere, you also have several groups that are calling for an investigation into Vice President Sara Duterte's use of confidential funds. There's also the case filed by Senator Trillanes against former President Duterte. Sa dami po ng kaso, will you prioritize this? I mean, this would be...
No, Karen, ano yan eh. All of them are important, Karen.
Okay,
And
this
we
would
just
be
have to go to work
politically
every day.
sensitive at this point.
Alam mo how we'll handle it, Karen? We just go to work every day with a sense of urgency to solve these problems. Ganun lang yun. Just go to work every day, just show up, that's half the victory. Because things will fall into place once you're there to decide on the course of action for every case. So yun lang yun. It's nothing more than that. I'm not overwhelmed by the idea because I'm used to it. I'm used to going to work every day and I'm used to handling problems every day.
Oo. Now, Ombudsman, these are cases involving, in effect, they're in the political faction of the Dutertes. So what now would you do, for example, no? I mean, there's been a lot of expose and accusations. Let's start with former Congressman Zaldico, now resigned Congressman Zaldico, of billions of pesos of insertions. What is the status? May kaso po bang isinampa sa Ombudsman?
I think pending na yung freeze order na petition against Saltico. It's pending in the Court of Appeals already. It's something that I had a discussion with some people in the Anti-Money Laundering Council because it is something that we have to do. And the AMLC used to act slower on these cases. Dati inaabot sila ng 4 months bago makakuha ng freeze order. Now I think that we will get it in record time. Kasi nga, people already feel the sense of urgency. And I'm happy that most people are in it with me na kailangan talagang tapusin natin itong mga problema ito and move forward as a country. I think that's the essence of it. It's the essence of why we're there.
Yeah, but before moving forward, I think people really want accountability, right?
Yes.
And that's why you're going to be busy. But I
Yes.
want to ask you first. So you have the Zaldico situation, but the Ombudsman is also tasked to investigate even sins of omission, right? When it
Yes,
comes
yes,
to
of course.
government officials.
Yes,
What
yes.
happens to former Speaker Martin Romualdez? I mean, clearly, they floated even the possibility of him becoming state witness, which was quite surprising in social media. But at some point, he just said, wala akong alam dyan. Hindi ako umupo sa bycam. Will the Ombudsman act on anything related to the former speaker, given that he was in charge in the 19th Congress when all of these insertions were made?
The least that we can do right now is to study liability for sins of omission. That's the least. But actively, we're looking for evidence. Everything will be based on evidence, Karen. We cannot pursue a case without any evidence. I think that that is the way the justice system should work. That's why evidence gathering is so critical here. And we will get there. We are studying the legal theory behind the sins of omission, negligence, and negligence itself has never been legislated, or the justice system has never gotten a billion peso reward or a billion peso fine on negligence. This might be the first time, Karen. It just might be the first time. It just might be the first time.
Because how do you assure the public? You did say that you will not use it to weaponize, right, the office. But you have criticisms coming already, going against this administration, saying that in the end, hindi naman pala totoo yung walang sasantuhin, kahit kamag-anak, kahit kaalyado. You have criticisms, fears, that in the end, this administration will protect, at the end of the day, the former speaker, as he is related to the president.
Ano nga yan, dapat yan i-gather nila yung evidence nila, tapos iharap nila sa amin. Tulungan nila kami. I need people to help. People should be helping the Ombudsman. Yun ang tingin ko lang, ha? Kasi hindi rin madaling kumuha ng ebidensya. But if you have it and you can give it to us, we will use it. I promise you. We will not throw away anything of value that can be used in the prosecution of cases.
All right. Now, talking about other senators, you mentioned Senator Joel Villanueva. I want to ask you because the ombudsman at one point ordered the dismissal of Senator Joel Villanueva, which was never acted upon. He's now implicated in a similar controversy. First, what happens to the old order, and what happens now to new issues against him?
Karen, that order was given by former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales in 2015 when Sonny Belmonte was still Speaker of the House. And later on, the same order was given to the Senate President in 2016. And then nothing came out of it. And I think that it is one of the things that the Supreme Court will have to decide eventually. What is the real power of the Ombudsman to dismiss people who fall under the House and under the Senate? Does the Senate have, or does the Senate leadership have an obligation to listen and enforce the orders of the Ombudsman within its system? Because that is the issue here. This office was created by the Constitution. It's a constitutional office, when it can be less important than the rules of the Senate or the rules of the House. So at the time, the Speaker didn't dismiss him, and the Senate allowed him to sit down as a senator, even though he was already dismissed and disqualified from public service. This has to come to a head, and we are relying on the judiciary to come up with a pronouncement on this matter. As sinasabi ko nga, when I try to go after with these cases, I will always seek out the advice of the judiciary, because they're half the legal system that we have. Sila talaga yung dapat nagsasabi na ito ang dapat gawin dyan. O dapat dyan, dalhin nyo sa COMELEC kung sasabihin nila para hindi na yan makaupo. But they have to lay down guidelines in this matter. They're not perfect. The judiciary is not perfect. But at least we have a working judiciary that can decide controversies of this magnitude.
If I were to ask you, what do you believe is the power of the Ombudsman under the Constitution? Halimbawa, meron kayong inutos. It doesn't have to be Senator Villanueva. Kailangan ma-dismiss, nakaupong senador. What do you believe kung ano ang tama? Kasi paano nga yun? Halimbawa, ayaw...
dapat yan ano lang Karen, that should be enforceable immediately by a letter containing the decision given to the Senate President. And the Senate President should be the one to enforce it. That is the only way to do it. And then, of course,
I guess the first one...
We will try it now.
Yes.
We will try to enforce it now. We will write a letter to the Ombudsman, to the Senate President, ask him to enforce a long a letter that was supposed to have been sent long ago, and ask him now to enforce that order. Because that is the way it works. They have to respect. We have to respect each other here. We respect their rules. We respect the way that they conduct business. We respect the independence of the Senate. But the design of the government is that the Ombudsman is there to protect the people. And we all are there to serve the people. So it has to come to a head sooner or later.
Okay, I want to make this clear because you're announcing something new today. Are you saying that you will write to Senate President Tito Soto, I guess, is it today or within the week, to immediately enforce...
I will try to have it done today so I can deliver it to him tomorrow when I go to the Senate, because we have a budget hearing at the Senate. It's something that has to be decided between men and between institutions. And it has to be for the good of the people. What is the meaning of this office if people will just ignore the orders of this office?
So you will write a letter today to enforce the...
I will hand carry it to the Senate President tomorrow.
Pero let me just say, the old dismissal order of Conchita Carpio Morales against Senator Joel Villanueva.
Yes, I will do it, Karen. Because it has to be done. It is the only incident lacking for the court to decide. So there's a justiciable controversy. We have to create it. We cannot just stand there and be a bystander. We have to be the active participants to trigger a response from the court.
Okay. All right. Now, you may have the Senate once again acting as a body protecting their own. What would you do when it repeats itself?
Well, we will go to court. We will go to the Supreme Court. It is really meant to go to the Supreme Court if they do not obey. And chances are they will not obey. because it's a collegial body that decides on only on political matters when it comes to decisions like this. So it has to become a justiciable controversy for the court to decide. So if they refuse to do it or it's not enforced, the vote is not gotten, then we will ask the courts about how the hell do we enforce an order from the ombudsman when it's final in the executory, or even when it's not final in the executory, but because it contains a grave offense, you're found guilty of a grave offense. I think that it's our duty to enforce it.
Oo. May tanong lang ako, Ombudsman, no? Nung panahon ba ni Conchita Carpio Morales, when they ordered the dismissal, did they also send it to the Senate President, the letter, and outright the Senate just ignored it or declined to act on it? Yun ba ang nangyari?
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah.
I have to go into that again. I actually have to talk to Conchita, to Justice Morales, so that we can. I will have a background.
Yeah.
I will need that background. I will need that even before we file a case in court, in the Supreme Court for the enforcement of this, we will just need her advice also.